Timing is not just a matter of luck. It's a matter of purpose. There is no such thing as a coincidence in life. Every single thing that happens in your life has a time, a place, and a reason. The moments you thought you missed, they were never meant to be in your life at that time. The job you didn't get, the opportunity that slipped away, the relationship that didn't work out, none of it was by chance. Timing is the invisible force that guides your steps, your decisions, and your destiny. Many of us have been waiting for the right moment. You know what I'm talking about. The perfect moment to step out, to take that risk, to make that move. We tell ourselves, when the time is right, I'll make my move. When the stars align, I'll go for it. But here's the truth. The moment you're waiting for is already here. You are not waiting on time. Time is waiting on you. You are standing on the precipice of greatness, but you can't see it because you're waiting for the world to tell you it's time. Now, I'm not saying that timing doesn't matter. It absolutely does. Timing is everything, but the problem is that most of us have it all wrong. We are waiting for some big, dramatic moment where everything in our life falls into place. We're waiting for that perfect moment to act. But let me tell you something. Perfection doesn't exist in time. Perfection exists in purpose. Look at your own life. Think about the opportunities you've missed, the moments you've delayed, and the dreams you've let slip by because you didn't think the timing was right. How many times have you thought, I'll do it when I'm ready, or it's not the right time yet? We've all done it. We've all held off because we felt like the conditions weren't perfect. But in reality, the world doesn't wait for us to be ready. Life doesn't pause to give us a moment to prepare ourselves for what's next. It keeps moving. The question isn't, when will the time be right? The question is, are you ready to act when the time calls for you? I want you to think about someone you admire, someone you look up to. Maybe it's someone who made it big in their career, or someone who built a successful business. Now, ask yourself, did they wait for the perfect moment? No. They seized the moment when it arrived. It wasn't about waiting for conditions to be perfect. It was about being prepared and willing to step into what was in front of them. Timing didn't work for them because they waited. It worked because they were ready when it showed up. The Bible offers profound insight into the nature of timing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." Let that sink in. Every purpose you have in life has a time, a season. Every dream you've had, every aspiration that stirs in your heart, there is a time for it. But here's the thing. That time doesn't wait for you to be comfortable. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Timing is not just about the ticking of a clock. Timing is woven into the very fabric of creation. It's a divine design. And just like the sun rises and sets with purpose, just like the seasons change in their appointed time, so too does your life unfold with purpose at a designated moment. It's not random. It's not by chance. Every single event, every season, is part of a larger plan, a plan that has been unfolding for generations. Your life fits into this greater design, and your timing is part of that grand scheme. Sometimes we confuse waiting with wasted time, but waiting isn't wasted if it's done with purpose. The Bible also reminds us that there is a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. This means that timing is about more than just us. It's about understanding that there's a time for everything. You may be in a season of waiting right now, but the time to plant will come. And when it comes, you will be ready to harvest what you've sown. If we look at the teachings of ancient philosophers, we also see a similar wisdom. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "Time is a great teacher, but unfortunately, it kills all its pupils." What does this mean? It means that time moves on, whether we are ready or not. But those who understand the value of timing are the ones who can make the most of it. You are not just waiting on time. Time is waiting for you to wake up to your purpose, to step into your moment, and to act with intention. The philosopher Lao Tzu, in his work Tao Te Ching, speaks about the concept of Wu Wei, which translates to effortless action. Lao Tzu believed that when we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, everything falls into place at the right time. It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about trusting that life will unfold in its own time, in its own way. You must trust the process of growth and learning. When you try to force things to happen before their time, you only create resistance. But when you move with the flow of life, timing aligns in your favor. Many of us get frustrated when things don't happen according to our timetable. We feel like we've missed opportunities or that we've fallen behind. But timing isn't about the world bending to your schedule. It's about your character being ready for what's to come. Think about it. Would you have been ready for the blessings, the opportunities, or the successes that you long for if they came too soon? Would you have handled them with grace, or would you have faltered under the pressure? Timing tests your character. It shapes you into who you are supposed to be for what's coming next. Think about the universe for a moment. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. The stars didn't just happen to align one day. The tides don't just rise and fall because they want to. The moon doesn't simply orbit the earth because it's a whim. Everything is governed by a higher law, an order, a rhythm. In the same way, your life operates under a divine law of timing. What you're going through today is part of that grand design. Every disappointment, every delay, every detour is part of the universe's perfect timing. Divine timing doesn't always look the way we think it should, but in the end, it is always perfect. I want you to trust that your life is not happening by accident. The pain you're enduring, the lessons you're learning, the growth you're experiencing, these are all part of the preparation for what is to come. You may not understand why things are taking so long. You may not see how all the pieces are coming together. But one thing I know for sure is this: your time is coming, and when it arrives, you'll be ready. So don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for the stars to align. Trust that timing is already working for you, whether you see it or not. This is your moment to step into what's next. This is your moment to believe in your purpose and trust in the timing of your life. The concept of timing and divine purpose. Let me tell you something. Every season in your life has been appointed. There's a season for everything. A time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to build, a time to break down. There's a season for planting and a season for harvesting. That's the law of life. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3:1, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." This means your life is not some random series of events. No, my friend, there's a divine purpose behind everything you're going through right now. Your time is coming, but it has to come when it's right. If you try to force something too early, it won't bear fruit. Imagine trying to pick fruit before it's ripe. What happens? It's sour. It doesn't taste right. It doesn't nourish you. You can try all you want to speed it up, but no matter what you do, you can't make the fruit ripen before it's time. You can't rush the harvest, and life is the same way. There is a season for everything, and when the time is right, everything will fall into place. But the key here is that you don't rush it. Timing and divine purpose work hand in hand. There's a reason things haven't worked out yet. There's a reason the door hasn't opened. Maybe the time isn't right, or maybe you haven't fully grown into the person you need to be to handle the blessings that are coming your way. You need to trust that your time is coming, but you can't force it. You must learn to wait. Real-life examples. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She didn't become a household name overnight. Oprah faced rejection after rejection early in her career. She was told she wasn't fit for television, that she wasn't the right type for the job. Imagine that. A woman with so much potential, told time and time again that she wasn't enough. She could have quit. She could have given up. But she didn't. She trusted the process, and when the right time came, she became a global icon. Oprah had to wait. She had to endure setbacks, but she didn't let that stop her. The season for her success didn't come until it was time, and that was the season when she could handle it, when she could step into it with the grace, strength, and wisdom needed to become who she is today. Think about Steve Jobs. Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he founded. That could have been the end of his story. But instead of forcing the process, Jobs took the time to step away and reflect. He worked on new ideas, new ventures, and found a new way forward. In the end, when he was called back to Apple, it was under the right conditions, and that's when the world saw the groundbreaking innovations like the iPhone. Jobs didn't rush his process. He let the right time unfold, and when the season for his success came, he was ready to lead Apple to new heights. These stories, Oprah's, Jobs's, they show us that timing is a real thing. Success isn't just about talent, work, or even ambition. It's about timing. It's about knowing that your time will come, and when it does, you will be ready to step into it. The waiting process. Now, here's the hard part. The part we don't like to talk about. The part that is difficult, frustrating, and often downright painful. Waiting. We live in a world where everything is instant. Fast food, instant messaging, overnight shipping. We want it now. But the waiting process is the part that teaches us the most about who we really are. Waiting isn't easy. It's like being a seed planted in the soil. You don't see anything happening, but beneath the surface, the roots are growing deeper, preparing you for what's next. But here's the thing. You can't rush it. You can't force it. You can't make that seed sprout before it's ready. It has to go through a process. It has to grow and strengthen in the dark, hidden from view, before it can break through the surface and grow into something magnificent. It's the same with you. During this waiting period, you may feel like nothing is happening. You may feel overlooked, ignored, or forgotten. You might wonder why others are moving ahead while you're stuck in place. But I want to tell you today that waiting is not wasted. Every moment you spend in this period of preparation is strengthening you. Every moment you feel like nothing is happening is actually part of a bigger process. Just like that seed, you have to trust that you are being prepared for something bigger. It's not about forcing yourself to grow. It's about trusting that when the right season comes, you will sprout, and the world will see the fruit of your labor. But you have to stay planted, rooted in your purpose, knowing that your time is coming. Sometimes we get frustrated because we can't see the result of our work. We can't see the harvest. But we need to remind ourselves that everything has its season. You can't skip the process. You can't skip the season of waiting. And I know it's hard. You want to be seen. You want the world to acknowledge your talent. You want your dreams to manifest. But what you don't see is that during this waiting period, God, the universe, or life itself is preparing you. Just like that seed underground, you are growing where no one can see you. But when your time comes, and it will come, you'll be ready to stand tall and bear the fruit of your waiting. Vivid imagery and metaphors. Think about the butterfly. Do you know how it gets its wings? The butterfly has to go through a process. It starts as a caterpillar, crawling along the ground, eating and growing. But when it's time, it wraps itself in a cocoon and goes through a transformation. And this transformation isn't easy. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. But inside that cocoon, the caterpillar is being reshaped into a butterfly. And after the right amount of time, it emerges, wings spread wide, ready to soar. But that butterfly had to wait for the right moment to emerge. It couldn't rush the process, and neither can you. Your life, your purpose, your greatness, it's inside you, but it's hidden right now. It's in the cocoon. And it's not a comfortable place. It's a place of isolation, struggle, and growth. But I want to remind you that even though you can't see it right now, you're being prepared for something beautiful, something powerful. And when the time comes, you will break free of that cocoon and spread your wings. You will fly. So I challenge you today, don't rush the process. Don't try to skip the waiting period. Embrace it. Understand that everything in life has a time, a season, a moment. Your time will come. But right now, you're in the cocoon. Right now, you're planting the seeds that will grow into something incredible. And when the harvest time comes, you'll be ready to reap what you've sown. Remember this, your time is coming, but it's coming in its time. Trust the process. Trust the waiting. Your moment will come, and when it does, you'll be ready. The power of patience. Embrace the process. Let me talk to you about something that's easy to overlook. Patience. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's not just about sitting back and hoping things fall into place. No, patience is something deeper. It's about embracing the process. It's about trusting that the journey is just as important as the destination. We often think that once we reach our goal, then everything will be perfect. But the truth is, it's the journey that shapes us. It's the process that prepares us for the destination we desire. You see, timing requires preparation. Think about a runner getting ready for a race. They don't just show up and expect to win without any preparation. They train. They endure the sweat, the soreness, the exhaustion. They wait for the race day, and every single moment leading up to that day is part of their preparation. The waiting is not wasted. It's shaping them into the person who can handle victory. It's forming their resilience. It's teaching them how to endure. You may be in the waiting room of life right now. You may be wondering when your breakthrough will come, but I want to remind you, it's in this season that you are being prepared for what's ahead. The challenges, the obstacles, the delays, they're not here to break you. They're here to build you. You are learning the skills, the wisdom, and the patience needed for the journey ahead. Embrace the process. Embrace the waiting. Trust that the best things take time. Overcoming doubt. Now, let's talk about something that all of us struggle with during the waiting period. Doubt. When things seem delayed, when you're putting in the work, but you're not seeing the results, doubt creeps in. We start questioning ourselves, our purpose, and whether or not we're on the right path. Am I doing the right thing? Is this ever going to happen? Is it worth it? These are the questions that swirl in our minds when things aren't going according to plan. I know what it feels like. You put in all your effort, all your energy, and yet it seems like things are moving too slowly. The clock is ticking, and you feel like time is slipping away. It's easy to doubt yourself when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. But listen to me. You are exactly where you need to be, right now. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, trust that you are being prepared for something bigger. Think of the farmer who plants a seed. He waters it, nurtures it, but for weeks he sees nothing. The seed is buried deep in the soil, and all the farmer can do is wait. Can you imagine how easy it would be for the farmer to doubt? Maybe the seed isn't any good. Maybe it's never going to grow. But here's the truth. He keeps watering it. He keeps trusting the process. And after a while, that seed starts to sprout. What the farmer didn't see under the surface, the roots growing, the seedling pushing through the soil, was the vital work that needed to happen in order for growth to occur. And that same process is happening in your life right now. You might not see it, but underneath the surface, you're growing. Your foundation is being strengthened. You're becoming the person you need to be for the season that's coming. So when the doubt sets in, and it will, remind yourself, you're right where you need to be. Keep trusting the process. Building faith during waiting. Now, let's talk about something that's essential to this waiting period. Faith. Faith is not just something we have when things are going well, when we see the results. Faith is what we lean on when we don't see anything happening. Faith is what sustains us when everything feels uncertain and unclear. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. It's the lifeline that connects your current situation to the future you're hoping for. But here's the thing about faith. It's not something you can summon up in a moment of crisis. Faith is built over time. It's forged in the waiting periods. It's in those moments when nothing seems to be moving forward that your faith grows stronger. When you're in the waiting room, when you're on the sidelines watching others move ahead while you feel stuck, that's when your faith is tested. But the truth is, the waiting period is the proving ground for your faith. You're not just waiting for things to happen. You're waiting to see how you'll handle it. Will you trust that there's a purpose in the waiting? Will you believe that something greater is being prepared for you? Because I want to tell you something right now. Your faith will carry you through every obstacle, every delay, every setback. Think about the people in the Bible who had to wait for their promises to come true. Abraham waited 25 years for a son. 25 years of trusting God, despite the impossibilities. Moses waited 40 years in the wilderness before leading the Israelites out of Egypt. 40 years. But in that waiting, God was building something in them. In the waiting, their faith was deepened, their resolve was strengthened, and they were prepared for the big things that lay ahead. Faith in the waiting is about knowing that God is still working, even when you can't see it. It's about trusting that what's happening behind the scenes is more important than what you can see with your eyes. Your faith is growing even when you don't feel like it. And when the right time comes, you'll step into your promise, not because you rushed it, but because you waited with faith. The strength in patience. Patience is not weakness. No, patience is strength. Patience is a sign of character. It's easy to give up when things get hard. It's easy to quit when the journey feels too long. But patience, the ability to keep going, to keep trusting when things aren't happening the way you want, that's the mark of a strong person. Patience is the muscle that builds your inner resilience. It's the tool that helps you handle what's coming. Think about an athlete who trains for the Olympics. They don't just show up and compete. No, they spend years preparing, enduring grueling workouts, sacrifices, and setbacks. And while they're in that process, they don't have immediate results. It's a long, slow grind. But that athlete's patience is what will carry them to victory when the time comes. It's that patience that gives them the strength to push through the pain, the fatigue, and the doubt. Your patience is building strength in you too. It's shaping you into the person you need to be to handle the blessings, the success, and the opportunities that are coming. It's not about rushing the process. It's about enduring it. And in that endurance, you are being refined, shaped, and prepared for what's ahead. Today, I want you to remember that patience isn't just a passive waiting game. It's an active process of trust, preparation, and faith. You are not wasting time by waiting. No, you're growing. You're being prepared for something greater. Your faith is being strengthened, your character is being shaped, and your timing is being aligned with a greater purpose. When you're doubting, when you're feeling stuck, remind yourself, this is not the end of the road. This is just a season, and seasons change. Trust the process. Embrace the waiting, because the time will come when everything falls into place, and you'll be ready to step into the life you've been waiting for. Recognizing the right moment. Understanding the moment. Let's dive into one of the most powerful aspects of timing. Knowing when the time is right for action. Timing is not just about waiting. It's about recognizing the moment when it's time to move. And trust me, it's not always obvious. The right time is not something you can predict, not something you can easily plan for. But when it arrives, you will feel it in your gut. It will stir something inside of you that says, now is the time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Okay. You've all heard the phrase, when the opportunity knocks, be ready. But I want to take it a step further. When that opportunity knocks, it will feel like a force pushing you forward, like everything in your life has been pointing toward this exact moment. It's as though every experience, every setback, and every moment of patience has led to this point. And when that moment comes, there's a clarity that fills your heart, a knowing that it's time to take action. Think about a river. You can wait at the edge, patiently watching the water flow, but you don't get into the river until you see that it's the right moment. The current is strong, but when it's right, you'll know how to move with it. Timing is like that river. It's flowing, but the question is, are you prepared to dive in when the time is right? Are you watching for that moment? Because the moment may not last forever, but when it comes, it will be undeniable. Opportunities in disguise. Here's the truth. Sometimes, the opportunities we wait for are disguised in the form of challenges, failures, and obstacles. It's easy to get caught up in the disappointment of things not going according to plan. It's easy to look at rejection, failure, or setbacks and think that we've missed our moment. But I want to challenge you to see things differently. Let's talk about rejection. Rejection can feel like the end of the road, but in reality, rejection is often your protection. You see, not every door that closes was meant for you to walk through. Not every opportunity that passes by is your opportunity. And sometimes, the greatest blessing is the closed door. The door that led you to search for something better, something more aligned with your purpose. When one door closes, another one opens. And that opening might not look like you expected it, but it's often better than you could have imagined. Failure, too, is often misunderstood. We look at failure as a sign that we're not good enough, that we're not capable. But what if failure is not a setback? What if failure is your foundation? What if failure is the ground you stand on to launch into your next success? It's the lessons learned in those moments of failure that prepare you for the bigger things ahead. In fact, every great success story has its roots in failure. Let me give you an example. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. Can you imagine if he had given up after the first failure? The second? The 100th? But he didn't. He saw every failure as a step forward, as part of the process. And through his persistence, the right moment came, and the rest is history. What he recognized, what you need to recognize, is that failure is often just a stepping stone to your greatest breakthrough. When you're facing a challenge, a rejection, or a failure, remember this: it's not the end, it's part of the process. You are being prepared for the right moment that is coming. Embrace the obstacles, because they are shaping you for the success that is just around the corner. Seizing the moment. Now, let's talk about what happens when that moment finally arrives. How do you seize the moment? How do you take bold steps when the opportunity is right in front of you? I'll tell you this: readiness comes with preparation. You can't expect to step into the moment unprepared. The key to seizing your opportunity is readiness, and readiness doesn't happen by chance. It's something you work for, something you build day in and day out. Think of it like this: you've been preparing your entire life for this moment, whether you realize it or not. Every failure, every lesson, every challenge you faced has been part of your preparation. And now, the doors are opening. But will you walk through them? Or will you hesitate, unsure of yourself? Take the example of Oprah Winfrey. She faced rejection early in her career, with many people telling her she wasn't fit for television. Yet she never gave up on her dream. She kept preparing, learning, and growing. And when her moment came, the moment when she would host her own show and change the world, she was ready. She didn't hesitate. She stepped into her purpose with confidence, knowing that everything she had been through was part of the process that led her here. Let me tell you, when the doors open for you, when the right moment arrives, you have to be ready to take action. You have to seize the moment with boldness, with courage, with the confidence that everything you've been through has led you to this place. Ready or not, the opportunity is here, and it's time to move. But here's the truth. Expectations are not enough. You can't just wait for the moment to come. You have to prepare for it. You have to put in the work. You have to study, grow, and develop your skills. When the opportunity arrives, you need to be able to step up and take full advantage of it. That's what makes the difference between success and regret. Being ready when the time is right. Recognizing the right moment isn't just about waiting around and hoping something happens. It's about being present. It's about understanding that opportunities don't always come the way we expect, and they don't always look like we imagine. But when they arrive, you will feel it. You'll know it. And when that moment comes, you have to be prepared to take action. You have to seize it. So I encourage you today. Don't let missed opportunities make you doubt yourself. Understand that every failure, every challenge, and every setback is part of your preparation for the bigger things ahead. And when the right moment arrives, don't hesitate. Seize it, because the moment will not last forever. But if you're ready, if you've been preparing, that moment will be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Timing is everything, but recognizing the right moment, that's up to you. Overcoming fear and doubt in the waiting process. Fear of missing out, FOMO. Let's talk about something that plagues all of us, especially in today's world. It's that feeling of fear, that nagging thought in the back of your mind that tells you you're running out of time. That voice whispers, what if I miss the opportunity? What if I'm too late? What if everyone else is moving forward while I'm stuck in place? This, my friends, is the fear of missing out, FOMO. Have you ever scrolled through social media or watched the news and felt like everyone else is accomplishing more, achieving faster, and succeeding while you're stuck? It's easy to feel like your time has passed. The world tells you that success happens on a timeline, that there's an age by which you should have made it, a moment by which you should have accomplished your goals. But the truth is, everyone's timing is different. Listen to me. Comparison is the enemy of progress. It's the thief of your peace. When you start comparing your journey to someone else's, you are stepping into a trap. You'll start doubting yourself. You'll start questioning whether you're good enough or whether you're wasting time. And it's all because you've looked to others instead of focusing on your own path. Think about it. Two trees grow in completely different conditions. One might be planted in a rich, fertile garden with plenty of sunlight, while the other is planted in rocky soil with little water. But both trees grow at their own pace. One doesn't compete with the other. The tree in the rocky soil may take longer to reach its full potential, but it will stand tall when it does. And just because it's taking a different path doesn't mean it's not going to make it. The same goes for your journey. Your timing is unique. The enemy of your success isn't your circumstances. It's your doubt. It's your fear of missing the boat. It's the anxiety that someone else is getting ahead while you're falling behind. Let me remind you today, your journey is just as valuable, just as important, and just as valid as anyone else's. You do not need to rush it. The importance of trust. So how do we overcome this paralyzing fear? How do we stop comparing ourselves to others and trust that our moment will come? The answer is simple, but it's not always easy. Trust. Trust that your journey, your timing, and your success are all written out for you in the grand design of your life. Trust that what is for you will not pass you by. Trust that what's meant to come into your life will come at the right time, in the right way. When you trust your journey, it frees you from the need to chase after others. It removes the pressure to race against the clock, to measure your life against someone else's timeline. Have you ever heard someone say, "Don't worry, everything will happen when it's meant to"? It's true. But the real key here is to believe that, to trust that what's meant for you is already in motion. Just because someone else is ahead in their career or their personal life doesn't mean your blessings are coming any slower. What's yours is coming at just the right time. Now, let me say this. It's natural to feel discouraged sometimes, especially when you see others seemingly succeeding faster than you. But this is the point where you must trust that timing is divinely orchestrated. There is a greater force at play, and it's shaping your path, aligning your moments, and positioning you for exactly what you need. The timing of your breakthrough is not random. It is part of a bigger plan. Think about Joseph in the Bible. Joseph's journey was filled with setbacks, jealousy, and betrayal. His brothers threw him into a pit, and later, he was imprisoned for something he didn't even do. But Joseph didn't let his circumstances define him. He trusted that his dream was still alive, even in the darkest moments. He didn't force his dreams to happen. He didn't rush his time. Instead, he trusted that God had a purpose for him. And in the end, at the appointed time, he rose to a place of great influence. Joseph's story teaches us a profound lesson about trust and timing. Sometimes, we find ourselves in the pit, and the weight feels unbearable. But like Joseph, we need to trust that the time will come for us to rise, to step into the role we were meant to play, and to fulfill our purpose. Trusting your timing is about knowing deep down that no one can take away your destiny. No one can take what's meant for you. The opportunities that are yours will come, and they will come in the right season. You might not see it now, and you might not understand the process, but the key is trust. Trust that your time is coming, and when it arrives, you will be ready. Practical advice for overcoming fear and doubt. So how do we apply this trust in practical terms? First, let's talk about patience. Patience is a muscle you have to strengthen. It doesn't come naturally to all of us, especially in a world that moves so quickly. But patience in the waiting process is essential. You must learn to embrace the stillness, to trust the process, and to believe that the waiting period is just as important as the arrival of your dreams. Second, limit your exposure to negative influences. We've talked about comparison, but there's another layer to this. Fear and doubt often come from the voices you surround yourself with, whether it's social media, negative friends, or the opinions of others. If you constantly hear about other people's successes and constantly compare them to your own, it will only feed your anxiety. You need to protect your mind, guard your thoughts. Trust that your journey is unfolding as it should. Lastly, shift your focus to gratitude. When you focus on what you already have instead of what you don't have, you shift your mindset. Gratitude has a way of silencing fear and doubt. It reminds you of the blessings you already carry, the progress you've made, and the lessons you've learned. Trust that every step, every day, is part of the preparation for your breakthrough. As we conclude, I want you to hear this clearly. Timing is not your enemy. Fear, doubt, and comparison are the real enemies. Trust the process. Trust that what is for you will not pass you by. It's already written for you. And when you let go of the fear of missing out, you open the door to receiving all that is meant for you in its perfect timing. You might not be where you want to be right now, but I assure you, you are right where you need to be. Trust your journey. Trust your timing. And remember, what's meant for you will never pass you by. Embrace your path and know that your moment is coming, and when it does, you will be ready. The key to long-term success, consistency, and preparation. Preparation for opportunities. When we talk about timing, we often imagine it as a moment when everything aligns perfectly. But here's the thing about timing that most people miss. Timing doesn't just happen by chance. It's a result of preparation. Opportunities don't just knock on your door. They wait for you to be ready to receive them. Think about it. Every successful person you admire, every breakthrough you've seen, has one common thread: preparation. They didn't just stumble into greatness. They didn't wait for the perfect moment to arrive and then scramble to get ready. No, they were already preparing for their moment long before it came. Imagine you're a runner at the starting line of a race. The gun goes off, and everyone starts sprinting. Now, if you've been training for this moment, day after day, pushing your limits, improving your skills, then when that gun goes off, you'll know exactly what to do. But if you've been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the right moment to start training, you'll be caught off guard. The race has already begun, and you're not ready. Preparation is not just about skills and knowledge. It's about developing the mindset that when the time comes, you are ready to seize it. Every day, every step you take, every small effort is preparing you for that moment. It's like an athlete in the gym, working day after day, even when no one is watching. When the opportunity comes, they're not starting from scratch. They're starting from a place of readiness. Opportunities are not random. They are crafted by your actions, your choices, and your daily preparation. What you do in the dark, when no one is looking, is what prepares you for the light. Your time will come, but it can't come until you've put in the work, made the sacrifices, and built the foundation. The role of hard work in timing. Now, let's talk about the second key piece to understanding timing: hard work. I know we've heard the phrase, timing is everything, but here's the truth. Timing is only part of the equation. Timing is essential, yes, but timing without hard work is like a seed that never gets watered. You've got to keep grinding, even when it seems like nothing is happening, even when the doors seem closed and the results don't show up immediately. You've got to keep going, because what you're doing now is preparing you for when your moment finally arrives. Success is built on the foundation of hard work. And here's the thing, hard work doesn't always show immediate results. Sometimes you'll put in countless hours, face obstacles, and deal with setbacks, and still, it might feel like nothing is changing. But trust me, every single drop of sweat, every hour of effort, every late night or early morning is adding to your success. Think about a blacksmith forging a sword. The blacksmith heats up the metal, hammers it down, shapes it, and then cools it. It's a process. And in the beginning, the sword doesn't look like much. It's just a rough piece of metal. But after countless hits, after the pressure, after the sweat and effort, the blade becomes sharp, polished, and ready for battle. You may be in the heat of your process right now, going through the hammering, the shaping, the pressure, but trust that it's making you into something stronger. Every struggle is preparing you. Every day you work towards your dream, you're making it happen. The truth is, timing won't matter unless you are prepared. Hard work and consistency are the ingredients that make the timing work for you, not against you. You don't want your moment to come and then be unprepared. That would be a tragedy. The hard work you put in now is what will help you grab that opportunity when it presents itself. Building habits of excellence. Now, let's dive into something that often gets overlooked when we talk about success and timing: habits. Consistency is the backbone of success. Excellence is not an event, it's a habit. It's what you do consistently, day in and day out, that shapes your future. The habits you develop now are the foundation of your success when the time comes. Many people wait for the perfect moment to start working on their goals, but the reality is, the perfect moment is made by the habits you cultivate. You don't wait for success to fall in your lap. You create it with your daily discipline, your commitment to excellence, and your refusal to settle for mediocrity. Let me ask you, what are your habits? What are the things you do every single day, even when no one is watching, that set you apart from the rest? Are you pushing yourself to be better, even in small ways? Are you improving every day, even when the results aren't immediately visible? Excellence doesn't show up just because you want it. Excellence is the result of doing the right things consistently over time. And when the right moment arrives, you won't be scrambling to catch up because you've been preparing for it all along. Think about Michael Jordan. The world knows him as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But what most people don't see is the relentless hours of practice he put in, alone in the gym, honing his skills day after day. Even when he was at the top of his game, he was still working on his craft. He didn't take his success for granted, and he didn't sit back waiting for the perfect game. He made it happen through the small, consistent actions of preparation. Similarly, you must build the habit of excellence. You need to be someone who works diligently even when the spotlight isn't on you. You need to be a person who stays disciplined, who keeps growing, learning, and improving, even when there's no immediate reward. Because when your time comes, you'll be ready, and excellence will already be a part of who you are. As we wrap up, I want you to hear this truth. Timing is important, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. You cannot sit back and wait for success to find you. You need to be ready when your moment comes. That's where preparation, hard work, and excellence come in. Opportunities will come, but they won't wait for you to get ready. You have to be in training. Every moment you spend preparing yourself, every hour you put into your work, every time you push through the challenges, you are building the life you want to live. Timing is a tool that works best when you've prepared for it. The opportunities, the doors, the breakthroughs, they're all waiting for you. But you've got to put in the work. You've got to build the habits. You've got to be consistent. Because when your moment comes, you will be ready to step into your greatness. Consistency and preparation are the keys to long-term success. And when your timing arrives, you'll be able to seize it like never before. You've heard the message, and now it's time to take action. The first thing I want you to do is embrace where you are right now. Stop rushing. Stop stressing about when your time will come, because it's already in motion. Your time is coming, and that's a promise. But while you wait, prepare. While you wait, grow. While you wait, trust. Trust the process, because the path you're on is leading somewhere incredible. You might not see it today, and that's okay. It's okay not to have all the answers right now. What matters is that you trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. I know it's hard sometimes. I know the doubts creep in. I know the fear of being left behind, of not making it, of feeling like you've missed the boat. But I'm here to tell you, you haven't missed anything. You are exactly where you need to be. Every setback, every delay, every frustration is part of your story. It's shaping you. It's preparing you. And when the time comes, you'll be ready. So, my call to action is simple. Trust the timing of your life. Trust that every moment, every season, is part of your divine process. And instead of focusing on the clock, focus on your growth. Focus on your preparation. Focus on becoming the person who will thrive when your moment arrives. Now, let's bring it all together. The core message here is one of faith and patience. Timing is not about waiting for some magic moment when everything aligns. It's not about sitting around, hoping things will happen. Timing is about trusting in the bigger picture, even when you can't see it. It's about understanding that life is not a race. Your journey is not meant to look like anyone else's. Think about it this way. Just like a plant needs the right amount of sun, water, and soil to grow, your success needs the right timing. You can't force a plant to grow faster than it's meant to. You can't rush the process. It's the same with you and your dreams. You can't rush the process of becoming the person you're meant to be. You can't rush the development of your purpose, your goals, your passions. Faith is the belief that everything you're doing now is part of something bigger than yourself. The delays, the waiting, the tough seasons, they are all part of the divine plan for your life. You don't have to understand all of it, but you do have to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. So don't waste time worrying about what's not happening yet. Instead, focus on preparing for what's coming. You see, timing is not about waiting for a clock to strike the right moment. It's about trusting that the right moment is being formed, even when you can't see it. Your job is to trust that when the time is right, you'll be ready. And if you continue to grow, to work, to prepare, you'll meet your moment with strength and confidence. Now, I want to leave you with this empowering thought. Your moment is closer than you think. Your breakthrough, your success, your true potential, it's closer than you realize. Every effort you put in, every lesson you learn, every step you take brings you closer to that moment. You might not be able to see it right now, but your time is coming. Your moment is already on its way to you. When that time comes, you'll be able to step into it fully, with grace, confidence, and the knowledge that you were prepared for this. You'll be able to rise to the occasion, not because of luck or chance, but because you've been working, preparing, and trusting the entire time. So, as you leave today, remember this. Trust your timing. Trust the process. And most importantly, when your time comes, step into your greatness. You have everything you need inside of you to make it happen. The journey is yours to take, and the best is yet to come. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be, and your moment is coming. Trust that. Keep pushing forward, and get ready to step into everything you were always meant to be.